What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Oh man, we're gonna have some fun times today. Today's another light fight freaking episode. Let's go. We're gonna have AJ on today. She's the casting producer for the Great Christmas Light Fight, and folks, she'll be making some announcements today. So make sure I go live on Instagram right there. Boom. Let me know if you can all hear me. If you can all see me, the mic is going okay. We're good, doing good. We're doing well. So we're geared up. So we are going to make some announcements today. There are changes coming to the Great Christmas Light Fight for next season. Um, a lot of changes, some changes, big changes, small changes. You be the judge once we announce it here today. Some housekeeping. What I need here, you okay? Appreciate that, Alan. Thank you so much. What I need from each and every one of you today, because I see a lot of folks in here in the chat who don't have video format. Folks, I need you to get in your yards. I need you to take video. I need you to go out there and take horizontal video of all of your light shows. Drop that into your Google Drive. Email that to me at christmasoncresslin@gmail.com. And I'll get you entered into this year's Fan Appreciation Awards. Folks, we're giving away mega trees. We're giving away Tilt Up Sasquatch mega trees. Let's go from Matos Designs. Let's do a quick roll call, see who's all in the chat today. Pepsi's tuning in. What's up, Pep? All the way from New Zealand. New job here. Miss your real streams. Yeah, no big deal. Chat's going on. Jumped in, so don't forget when the show comes on. Very cool. What's up? Chris is in the house. Let's see. Whiskey's Coders. Time to shine and do this time. Yeah, this is our time of the year. Uh, Excited for the show today. Boom. Charlie didn't get a chance to get my decor done. Seems after I checked install, half the lights went out. Well, that's no good. That's okay. Everybody's having problems this year. Let's see here. Brian, what's up? Hi, AJ for the Michael family. Boom. Of course, you know that, though. Yeah, so we are waiting for, and Charlie Byers, too. I appreciate that about you, Brian. Doug's here. What's up, Doug? Alan, of course. Jordan, what's up, Jordan? Jordan was just on this weekend. Actually, that was yesterday, wasn't it, Jordan? Yeah, today's Monday. Yeah, I had to check. What's up, John? Oh, the Slankards are in the house. John's here. Slankards are here. Braden Stewart's here getting to reformat the songs for my show because of the new computer. Yes. Braden had to go get his new computer because his show went out on him. What's up, Josh? So we are waiting for AJ to come in. It's one thing I've learned from interviewing many folks on the Great Christmas Light Fight. They're busy folks, so she'll pop in here at some point and start making announcements. So for folks that don't know, you can go to matosdesigns.com, owned by JR Matos, and look up yourself for the Tilt Up Sasquatch. So we are giving away for the static displays. We're going to give away one small tilt up Sasquatch with 550 Kraken Flex lights and an easy plug and play app controller. That's important because if you have a static display, you don't have a computerized Christmas light show. Well, how are you going to do it? So JR's thought about that. He's put some thought into this. He's taking care of you, and he's going to give you a plug and play controller. So you'll have a Pixel Mega Tray that you don't need any computers for. Awesome idea. And we're going to also show you, if you didn't watch my live stream I had with Jordan and with Brian yesterday, I'm going to show you the trophy for this year. It's freaking phenomenal. Pixel displays. If you win our Pixel display category, you win a small tilt-up Sasquatch with 550 Kraken lights. Pretty cool. If you win the string light displays, not one, but two. You get two tilt-up Sasquatch Krakens. Nope, just two small tilt-up Sasquatches. So you win two Mega Trees. How freaking awesome is that? And then debuting the award again, because we showed it yesterday. Cover my own face up. Let me move to the side here and let you see the trophy here. Where's my trophy? Coming up, ladies and gentlemen. May I give you this year's a trophy? Boom. So this is going to be a wooden base. It's going to be a custom-made metal frame, and the colors are all there. This is going to be dynamite, and I assume it's going to be freaking heavy. So make certain you get all your videos in. I'm getting a lot of videos from a lot of folks. AJ just sent me a message. She's running late. Give her 5 minutes. Yeah, AJ, we got you. No worries. So AJ will be here in about 4 minutes from now. So yep, no worries. I'll tell her back. Hi AJ, no problem. Boom. Yep, no problem. So I need your video. That includes you light fighters. And we do have one light fighter that threw his hat into the ring just last night. You know him from last week's video. That's right. Chris Clark and the Clark Family Christmas has entered the Fan Appreciation Awards. They are trying to. Patrick and I were just talking this morning. Patrick, you know him right there. He'll be on next Thursday's Great Christmas Light Fight. I believe you have the first episode of the night, and you have episode 5. And we'll see if Patrick brings home the trophy. And guess what? Patrick's coming on the show for a live interview. So that'll be very cool. Maybe AJ relapse and think she's on Australian time. Now hence why she's late. What I imagine she's doing, she's sitting there nervous. She's thinking, I'm getting ready to go on Christmas on Crestline with Charlie. I've not been this nervous since I sat with Tom Cruise at the People's Choice Awards. I mean, I guarantee, I guarantee that's what she's thinking. Boom. Um, he gave me even less the chance to win. So here's the thing. That's why it's great about the categories. We have those 3 categories, but the Mato Spark Award goes to whoever he wants. So to be a static display, you have to be static. To be a pixel display, you got to have pixels. To be a computerized string display, well, it's got to be computerized. And you got to have strings. Incandescents, LEDs, doesn't matter. But the Mato Spark Award is whatever they want to pick. So if it's just a string on a wrapped around a balcony, yeah, maybe they want to give a mega tree to somebody on a balcony. It does not matter. And plus, I mean, yeah, it's cool. We have prizes, and it's cool we have contests. But it's just really the prizes are just a way to help your show grow and to motivate you to send me video because it's about inspiring else others. I mean, let's be honest. Yesterday's or last Thursday's video, Great Christmas Life Fight. I guarantee you, those blow mold mega trees will be popping up all around the world. That's how awesome it was. And it had a secret passageway. Come on, secret passageways are awesome. What if you have a mix of LOR going up, but wife says new kitchen first? I want to get a mix. Yeah, and what I do like about LORs is I use Prism as my software. I can do 1/10 of a second is the fastest I can go. LORs are double that and much better for strobing effects. Let's see here. Um, Want to get an LOR? What if you have a mix of static and light show with only LED? Yeah, if you have the light show, it's going to be a light show. Static is just 100% no LEDs, and I'll judge them as I look at the video because I will watch every single video that comes in. One of these years, maybe I need to get an actual website up so when video comes in, maybe it gets sent in better. I don't know. A lot of folks I know are recording on their iPhones in 4K, but it comes to me as 480p. So something gets lost in the translation there. What's up, DB? Devin's in the house. Devin, you haven't sent me a video yet either. So we have there might be some names you might know. Let you know who all is officially entered into this year's Fan Appreciation Award. I know a lot of you will be. But let's see here. We have, and I do keep track. This is the 1, 2. This is our 5th year for doing it. Let's freaking go. Started this in 2020. So we have Aaron Leach, we have Braden Stewart, we have Chad Summers, we have Chris Clark, we have Eric Thurcell, Laura Kay, Mark Oliverson, Randy Rice, Robert Mardola. I say, yeah, Marbolado. I always get your name wrong, Rob. Ryan Wheelwright from Wheelwright Wonderland, Scott Drees. There's a few others that I don't have yet on here. But those are kind of me. I need like 30 more. I need 30 more. I need a lot more. Done. Boom. Love that about you, Chris. So this week we have the fan. One thing I'm going to ask AJ. I'm like, hey, AJ, pretty please, sugar on top. Can I do the watch party and have audio and video? She's probably going to tell me no, but I'm going to ask. Last Thursday after I did the watch party, I realized that even my audio that I was hearing on a completely different computer system was still pumping out audio on the live. I'm like, so I had to take that down. So I don't want to take any chances. We like the Great Christmas Light Fight. We want to keep him happy. Yes, City of Mine this week. Boom. Let's go. Right. Yep. There's Ryan. Just talking about you. Boom. Let's go. Uh, yes, please do. 2024 contender. Love that. So we're doing the watch party on Thursday night. Saturday, it's me, it's Brian, it's JR. Might be a few others. Might be a few others. Jordan might be there. Brandon and Tiffany might be in there from the Ford family Christmas. Um, I keep saying Ford. The last name is not Ford. He looks like my cousin on the Ford side of the family. It's not Ford. Sorry. But Brandon and Tiffany might be there. But we have a lot of cool light fighters coming on. Michael Simmons was supposed to be on, but fell ill. So Michael Simmons from season one will not be on this year's show, but we're going to get him on there. What's up, Edgar? I haven't seen you here in a bit. What's going on? Edgar, all the way from Ireland. So that's three continents we have in here. I have not seen, we haven't had Africa on here in a few weeks. I think AJ might be finishing decorating her Christmas tree instead of visiting with us. You're probably right. And you know what I'm going to do? I think this is an excellent idea. Instead of me just talking about what you guys like seeing me, like, hey, Charlie's a good guy. We came for AJ, let's be honest. So after YouTube gets done with this, about 24 hours from now, I'll probably edit the first 10 minutes out. Maybe not, I don't even know. Charlie, did you decide if you're going to Pennsylvania for the Christmas show? I can tell by my dog barking that one of two things are possible. Either A, my daughter's home from school, or B, could be Amazon, could be the mailman. Toss up. Toss up. Devin, boom, just sent you stuff. What's up? AJ's in the house. What's going on?
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas to you. Appreciate you taking some time for us and coming on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
So we have a lot of folks in the chat already. We have three different continents in the chat right now. So I'm just going to spoil it ahead of time. This is an American only TV show. Ireland, I'm sorry you're out. New Zealand, I'm sorry you're out.
For now.
For now, yes. So for the folks that live under a rock and have no idea who in the world you are, can you tell the people who you are and what you do?
So, my name is Ajay Rochester. I am a casting producer on The Great Christmas Light Fight. I have been doing it for 9 years.
Boom.
Which is crazy. And I feel like I should pay them to do this job because it's so much fun.
Yeah, right.
So, and I come from a television background. I come from an entertainment background. I've pretty much been an entertainer my whole life. I started as an actor, actually spent quite a few years as a professional clown, traveling the world.
Oh, really?
Yes, Lulu the
nice.
Clown. Very cool. And then I kind of got into behind the scenes here in America, and I really love it. Mm-hmm. Having a real job is a wonderful thing. Having a regular paycheck is a great thing.
Right. Well, I was going to ask you for a fun fact about you, but I have so many clown questions now. I don't even know if we're even going to talk about the light fight. How in the world did you get into clowning?
So I was at drama school, and and my the principal one day was like, "We keep getting calls for people doing, having clowns to deliver singing telegrams. Do you want to do that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then people were like, "You're really funny. You should do birthday parties." So I was like, "Yeah." And then I kind of built a show, and I loved making kids laugh. And I ended up working for the P&O company, and I traveled the world doing clown shows. And honestly, it was really one of the best jobs I've ever had.
So why'd you stop?
You kind of get old. You grow out of it. Okay. I ended up hosting a really big television show in Australia called The Biggest Loser. And and so it was kind of one of those things where, did I still want to do $100 birthday parties?
Oh, yeah, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I used to watch the heck out of that The Biggest Loser when it was on in the U.S., and I always enjoyed that show. I like people's journeys, and, even though it's like the light fight, even though you have no idea who these people are, they're 100% strangers to you, you feel like you know them.
Yeah, we definitely have a big family in light fight. We call them an alumni, but you're really a part of a big family, really. And we stay in touch with a lot of people, and it's a journey to get on the show. It's a lot of people think it's just plug in a few lights and you get on the show, but it's actually, for many people, a much longer process and a more collaborative process than you think. And I think when we reach out to people, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I could never compete." But you have to understand it's kind of like football and basketball. People start looking for people in high school and then they end up
Right.
playing in the major leagues. They don't just wake up one day and play in a major league. And, there's a very different performance
Fair.
to your high school, your college games, to your Super Bowl. But we see the potential in people, and we love to take that and grow it into what becomes an enormous display on the show. And not even enormous, because this
Yeah.
year, let me say, this year that we just filmed has one of our smallest smallest houses we've ever had.
Really? So when you say smallest house, are you talking about a legitimate tiny house?
It's not legitimately a tiny house, but it is a
Okay.
very small house.
Okay.
We'd
So
have
we
a
have.
tiny house. We would
Do.
have a tiny house, because
Oh,
it's really about the creativity and what you do with that
yeah.
space.
So we have a ton of light fighters in the chat today. We got Brian Michael says hi AJ. See, he sees an 11 episode 6 winners, but he says, of course, you know that. We
Oh,
have
he's
some
our
folks
rain
that,
man. He has all the figures. He knows every number of everything that has ever happened in Light
yes,
Fight.
yeah, I call him the librarian because he's got it all, knows everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, let's see here. We have so many. I'm trying to catch up in the chat here. Let's see here. So you got Patrick. Patrick's going to be in Thursday's episode. He's your current season contender.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
and you did his interview, as
I
it turns
did do
out.
his interview.
Okay, so what? Spill the beans. Patrick's going to come on the show next week for an interview. So what can you tell us about Patrick that we need to know now?
Well, Patrick is, first of all, he's really good at taking direction, because, you would give
Oh,
him advice and he would absolutely take it and grow with it. But, they're a fun family. I think one of the things about Light Fighters, it's not just about the lights, and it is obviously very much about the lights and the display and everything else, but it's also about the
yeah,
Christmas spirit, because in the judging system,
yes.
Christmas spirit is very much about it, and they definitely brought the Christmas spirit, and I'm actually super super excited. If you've been on Facebook and you've seen their display this year, I
Mhm.
mean, and you know what, the great thing about big displays is they're actually harder to get on the show, because there's so much space to cover, and there's some really good
Oh,
tips that you can learn by watching people like Patrick in how they define their lines and how they fill the space, because a big
fair.
display is much harder to get on the show.
That's see, I've never thought about asking that. I love that you just answered that with. That's awesome. Also, the Slankards here. They're going to be in Thursday night's episode as well.
I love the Slack
Says, hey AJ, you wild woman.
Kids. Oh, we've been with the Slack Kids for a while. It's like, and that's the
Yes.
thing, is it's not an overnight process. It's not just add water and get on the show. It can take a few years, and we do work. If you really want to be on the show,
Yeah.
and that's your goal, and we'll find a way, but you do have to work with us and you'd have to grow. But that said, we never tell people to spend money ever. We don't want you to spend, because
Okay.
you've got a 1 in 3 chance of winning 50 grand, because we're moving to
Uh,
3 families per episode. It's pretty good odds, but it's
sounds.
also slim odds
Yeah.
getting on the show, right? So we would never
Yeah.
want people to spend money, but there is a lot of creative ways and a lot of ways that people can build their display without it costing money. And that's, refurbishing, collecting people's old stuff and bringing it back to life, donations. You can have, drives where you get your local community involved, and, say, hey, we want to do this. Give us all the stuff that you don't want to use anymore. Because people
Oh
retire
yeah.
displays as well, and you can get
Yes.
retired displays. There's always people, and sometimes often sad circumstances. But, you can,
Mhm.
if you hear of, and in our family, a Light Fight family, when we hear of somebody who has or even has not been on the show, even if they don't get on the show, but they have an incredible display,
Mhm.
retiring that display often, families are really honored for people to carry it on over into
Oh
someone else's
yes.
display and to put a little
Yeah.
memorial area for that person. So there's many ways that you can grow without it costing you any money.
So you broke some news. So there's breaking news. What's the format change for next year's Great Christmas Light Fight?
So we have moved into 3 families per episode instead of 4. We've
Mm-hmm.
just finished filming next year's season, so we film a year ahead. We cast a year ahead, then we film a year ahead. So you've got plenty of time to get ready for the increased interest in your display. Um,
Right.
and so with that change, what that really means is, first of all, your odds are better at winning. Um,
Yeah.
because not many times you get a 1 in 3 chance at winning 50 grand.
Yeah.
I'd like those
Fair
odds
enough.
just quietly.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and then with that, there's more time spent on screen, right? There's more time walking around with the judge and talking about your display. So when you're
Yeah.
building your display, you have to think, how many things can I talk to the judge about, right? Now, store-bought's
Mm-hmm.
going to be, it's really hard to talk about in any circumstance. Now, if you do something creative with store-bought, like we had a family, I think in the first week's episode, who did the little puns and all the little signs and everything with their stuff. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can take something and make it creative. You can take store-bought and do, like Brenda Sue, she had a lot of homemade stuff, but she also had store-bought, and you can build a lake, build a snow field, build an ice cavern or an igloo. Like there's things that you can build around store-bought,
Right.
but you know, DIY is always much easier to get in the show, and anything that's unique or specific or creative, or you know, say if you're a Filipino family, you know, doing the Filipino lanterns and the flag and having your culture really integrated into your display would really help you kind of get on the show. So DIY is going to figure quite
Mm-hmm.
heavily moving forward because there's more segments to talk about. And speaking of segments, it will
Okay.
always help you if you have a but wait, there's more. So if you have a but wait, there's
Ah,
more,
okay.
that will
Okay.
100% give you an edge on the competition. And but wait, there's more can be a number of things, again, that you don't have to spend a lot of money on or any. If you have one of those little globe displays or the trains or the villages, you can build it into your garage and have a, hey, Tanya, you think you've seen everything moment, but you haven't. And then they cut to the break and they come back. And then you open up the garage and there's your tiny village. Or if you
Yeah.
have 1,000 stuffed Santa Clauses, you can do that in your garage. Or you could do
Mm-hmm.
one room in your house. You could go crazy Christmas and create a Christmas cave in your living room and do, you know, decorate it and have a beautiful moment. You have Santa hiding in there, you know, or backyard sides, pools, any spas.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So
we've got a spa reveal coming up next year, which is hilarious. It's
okay.
hilarious.
All right.
So anything
Uh,
goes.
Brian's asking why the change.
Why the change? Well, television is evolving. Anyone who knows Hollywood knows that you know,
Mm-hmm.
television is evolving. You got to keep it fresh. There's a younger generation. You know, they're trying
Mm-hmm.
to get to watch. And so I think just the dynamics of Hollywood, you know, it is changing. I think budgets are always in consideration. You know,
Mm-hmm.
networks are shrinking, and a lot of shows aren't
Yeah.
continuing. So they look at ways at how can we continue, you know, to make this show, because this is such a staple of American television. But you know, costs
Yeah.
rise, you know, and so to make this show, it's very, very expensive. And so I think that's, you know, one of the factors. And I just think that people want to know more and want to see more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one thing to kind of have the big hurrah and, you know, but there's human
Yeah.
stories that we never get to tell, and there's really amazing, incredibly creative people who, you know, spend years and years and years on
Yeah.
their display, and so it gives us a really great opportunity to kind of talk a little bit more about it.
Are the shows staying at an hour, or are they getting reduced to 30 minutes or something?
No, they're an hour. Yeah, so we
Oh,
get more
okay.
screen time for each family. So you get to really, if you are DIY, then this is your moment. And you know, you're gonna get, and you know, both
Mm-hmm.
the judges love DIY in their different ways. You know, Carter loves to get behind things and find out like how they work. And
Yeah.
Tanya's
Yeah.
really into like the creative artistry. And the storytelling. And so, you know, they both have
Mm-hmm.
kind of preferences of how they walk and talk through a display.
Now, Jordan Mayweld was on last week for an interview, and he's in the chat right now. And he was able to break the news that there is a new heavyweights coming out. Is the heavyweight three, or is it heavyweight four contestants?
The heavyweights is 3 as well.
It's three as well. Okay. All right. Very cool. So there's a
Mm.
lot of things going on. So you got a spa coming out next year, and backtrack a few seconds ago. You said talked about how the length of the segment. There is a theory working over the last
I love these theories.
well, there's a theory that the longer a family is seen on TV, the more likely that they are the winners. So hey, they were on for 11 minutes. The other two families were on for 10. The 11-minute one. Is there any validity to that?
First of all, I've never timed it. This has to come from Brian
Okay.
Michaels. This has to come from Brian Michaels. Has to. He would time every segment. But I've never heard this theory ever.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
certainly not something that we think about or know or have any kind of dialogue about. I think it's just
All right.
coincidence. I think it's when the
Okay.
commercials fall. I think maybe sometimes if there are more talking points for something, which
Yeah. Okay.
goes back to DIY, then they're definitely going to feature. But different people have different stories, and again, I think it's really important to explain about Light Fight is, yeah, it's a light show and it's a light fight and there is a competition. But beyond that, it's really
Mm-hmm.
storytelling and sharing people of all different cultures way of celebrating the holidays, be it, Kwanzaa, Diwali,
Mm-hmm.
Hanukkah. And while some people might not have the biggest display, their story is as important to tell as others. And some families genuinely, they don't care about the money. They're not there for the money. They don't
Yeah.
want or need to be the biggest, because it isn't really about the biggest. Yes, we do give a prize and all of that kind of thing. But we often say you
Mm.
win by being on the show. The minute you get there, you are a very
Yes.
specific small group of people. So if you are telling a story, don't be afraid to reach out to us. And, we've been trying to get a Hanukkah house forever. So if you have a Hanukkah
Oh.
house, get in touch with
Ah.
me.
Okay. Brian said that wasn't him this time. The theory comes from Jordan.
Oh, it did come from Jordan. Ah,
Yeah.
Jordan, you haven't brought that up with me. I'm surprised you haven't asked me that question. Jordan and I are good
uh,
mates.
Patrick's asking, is it going to be 6 episodes next season or more?
6 episodes. Same.
6 episodes. Okay. So same amount of so are there 5 episodes of families and one heavyweight next year?
That's right.
Okay. Okay.
So that
All
means
right.
only 15 families will make the
Yeah.
show. So when we're pushing you for footage this year and we're saying, what else can you do? What else do you have? Do you have,
Yeah.
a room? And so, example, if you decorate your whole house inside, you can just throw it all in. Like, say Christmas is over and you're about to
Mhm.
put all your Christmas stuff away, put it all in the living room, shoot us a little video, send it to me, and then that's your, but wait, there's more moment.
Okay. I like it.
But yeah, the
And one
competition's
thing
tough.
one thing I always say to folks who are trying to get on your show is they forget, or maybe they don't realize that you also want footage of them installing the props in their yard or whatever, or their roof. But they've got the show out, they're filming the show just fine, but they didn't film any of it being set up. So say that's okay. You have to take it down, film that. Do you agree with that logic?
Yes, and look, I think what the setting up isn't so much the footage that we want. What we
Mm-hmm.
really want is for you to talk about your DIY. So if you're making a new prop, or you're in there fixing a prop, or you're restoring something, talk about that. Like, so if you have, a former department store, those little statues, and they've come to you
Mm.
broken, and you're restoring them, and you're making little jackets for them, and you talk about that, hold it up, talk about it, talk about the origins.
Oh.
If you're making painted reindeer and you're cutting them out and you're rescuing wood from the side of the road, talk about that, because those are the pieces again that are going to tell your story in the new evolution of the show. So you can do that anytime. And honestly, if you're in our process, our process. We get footage at Christmas, and then we do our interviews in
Mm-hmm.
June. So if you're, and we know you crazy Christmas people are building all year round. So
Yeah.
as you're building your new props for the new year, film those little videos. Again, remember to turn your camera so you've got it horizontal. Film them.
Yes.
Just keep them. You've got your link. If you're in the process, you have a link to a folder where you just keep dropping those videos in there, and when we come around to interview you and pitch you in summer, then once again you've got a foot in the door further than someone who hasn't.
And is it lightfightcasting.com still?
That's it.
Boom. I'll put that up here on the ticker. People can know to do that. Boom, lightfightcasting.com to send in your video. And so when they send the video in, and you'll contact them. And then so after you've been contacted, they send the video, and they're like a file or something, or they get their own file that they can keep adding video to. Is that right?
Yeah, so basically what happens is you go to Light Fight Casting, or you can find me on social media. I'm pretty active in the community. If you know someone, they can always send them my way. And often a lot of contestants send me new potential contestants, which I love them for, because that makes my job a lot easier.
Yeah.
So you go to Light Fight Casting, you fill it out. Someone from our team will have a look at it. And then if we think you're ready for the show or have potential for the show, you'll be called. If we think you're not, you'll be contacted and said, hey, good luck. We're going to watch you keep building, that kind of thing. But if you do become a part of the process, then you're assigned an associate or a producer, and then we start working with you. You get a folder from Box, and you start putting footage in. We send you a little how-to guide. You can actually find our how-to video also at Light Fight Casting. There's lots of hints and tips and videos for how to film great footage. And then we work with you, and we get all the footage, and then we either grow with you. We give you feedback. We're like, okay, here are the things that the show are going to say you need to fill or fix, dark spots, fill your dark spots, do your roof, make things lined. If you've got a 2-acre property, we understand that you do that, but maybe at the end of the year, throw it as you're bringing it in, shrink it to a 1/4 acre, take a quick video, and then send that to us, because that's how we get bigger displays to look so like, woo. Most times it's 2-acre properties who've put it on a 1/4 acre just for the show.
Cool.
And we do film. So anyway, and then in summer, we'll call you and you'll get a Zoom interview, and you'll dress up in winter clothes during summer, and it'll be really hot, and we'll do a fun Zoom, and you'll talk about a couple of your favorite props, and then ABC take time to decide. And obviously, there is only 15 families, sometimes 18 if we don't have heavyweights. So we already have kind of a bit of a waiting list. So I always try to say to people, don't think you're going to get on the show in the first year. It's just going to take some time, but if you work with us and you just stay patient, and you'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Ryan's asking, says his box links expires in February. Does he need to extend timelines?
So he should have a new link. If he doesn't reach out to whoever, is that what, Brian Michaels?
Nope, that is, let me find it. That's Ryan P. Wheelwright.
Oh, Ryan, you should have a new link that shouldn't be expiring. So I will work that out. If you should all have new links if you are applying. If you've applied previously and you would have received an email from us. Sometimes it goes through to spam, so just check. But you would have either received a text or an email or a phone call or a voicemail from all of us. If you haven't, then let me know, because then you've just slipped through the cracks. But you should be getting a new link. You need a new link, because yes, all of the old links will be expiring.
Yeah, he says thanks. So we have a couple of regulars that are current alternates on the Light Fight, but they're not in the chat today. But I was gonna see if they had any questions for you. So
I can talk about alternates as well if you like, just briefly, quickly, because you can become an alternate. So we have this system where we have X amount of people who are going on the show, but things happen, and sometimes families can't compete. So we have usually 3 or 4 alternate families who get their display up. And are pretty much primed to be on the show. It's not a guarantee. Oftentimes it happens. It's rarely a year where there's not an alternate used. I think this year we had quite a few, and in fact one of our alternates won. And also we've had a few previous alternates win, including Tony Bigda. He was an alternate, and he was not set to go on the show, and he got on the show and he won. So just because you're an alternate does not mean that you're not a winner worthy or show worthy display.
Yeah, and Brian was an alternate for 2 weeks, and he won.
There you go. See?
Let's see here. What has differentiated the winners from the contestants in previous years? It's just all about what the judges like and connect to, right?
Yeah, and you have that one moment. So I always say to people, be ready, because it's not shot live, but it is kind of live. In that when the judge comes, that's your moment. So you've got to show them what to do. You've got to be ready. Sometimes things don't work, and because it's a competition, you have to be judged on that moment. So if you've got the biggest display, but it doesn't light up when the judge comes, and then you have to come back and film it when it's fixed, you're going to be judged on that moment, unfortunately, because that's what's fair, right? So things like that can go wrong. But also, it's one of those things. It's like, it's up to the judge. There's no outside influence. It's, you know, how they feel on the night.
Yeah.
It's the stories. It's what they see, and it's what kind of speaks to them. And you know, it's always controversial. You know, people talk about
Yeah.
it. You know, we have our favorites. You know, I get mad
Oh,
when
certainly.
certain
Yeah.
people don't win or when certain people do win, and you know,
Yeah.
it's the nature of the beast. Not everyone's going to see a display and feel the same way about it.
Yeah, I've already called my shot for next week. I'm saying Patrick's going to win. I'm going to say the Slankers are going to win. So I'm calling my shot. I know they can't say anything till Thursday night. I'm calling my shot. Calling my shot.
I'm saying
So
nothing.
so one thing you brought it up a minute ago, and we've noticed it in this season that's airing. The judges are going back inside the house finally. So going forward, is it important that they have a display? It'll be at one room inside the house, or does it not really matter?
I think interiors are just hard to find. You know, I don't
Okay.
think that it's been a conscious decision to go back inside the house. We're always looking for that second
Okay.
reveal. But the second reveal is definitely a thing that we're producing. So when you get on the show and everyone's like, well, I can't compete with that. You have to think you're working with a television production company for 5 months to get on a show. I've
Yeah.
never known a contestant to not go bigger, right? They've taken their display, they know the show's coming, they know the world is watching, they go bigger. And then they work with the producer on what they're going to do and what their story is going to be and what they're going to do with the judge. So, you know, we do work with you. So you can't really compare yourself to something on the show to what you have when we pick up the phone and call you, because you have to know
Hmm.
that there's television magic and producing that goes on with that. You know, we actively work with it.
Yeah.
So definitely people probably should, they don't have to, but they should have some kind of a second reveal. Again, you don't have
Yeah.
to. It's, you know, if your display is so magnificent outside and there's enough to talk about, but it really comes
Yeah.
down to, is there enough time to spend 20 minutes minus the commercials talking about this
Yeah.
display?
How do you feel about theme shows? Aaron's asking. He has a show kind of built towards first responders and honoring them
Love
and
it.
military first.
Love it,
Okay.
love it, love it, love it.
All right.
We love it. We love first responders, first of all. We love themes. But you
Yeah.
know, it's really important to honor certain people, and I think that's a great thing. It's great talking points. Obviously, we can have people represent. You know, we've had fire departments turn up, we've had police departments turn up. We
Hmm.
absolutely love themes. We encourage themes. Even if you have, you know, largely store bought, or if you have a light show, if you have some story other than just when you plug it in and it flashes and to one song, you know, you got to say, well,
Yeah.
what's my story? What am I telling? Why did these pieces matter? And how can I talk about something different that someone's not seen with a light show? I can tell a secret though. I can
I love
drop a
secrets.
giant clanger.
Let's go, AJ. What you got?
There is not one, not two, but three winners coming up in the new season that may or may not be light shows.
There are three winners that may or may not be light shows. Interesting.
So, because people always
Okay.
go, light shows never win, light shows never win.
Oh.
But
Okay. That's your say.
I'm telling you, there are big things coming in the light show community. So get on board
I'm
and
trying
get
to remember.
submitting.
I'm looking at my names. I'm trying to remember the name of the family that was on there. They're the family that where Artenia went up in the crane, went up in the lift. You remember? I should
Oh,
have the notes,
God.
and I apologize for remembering the name. But the question was asked: was the song and the big reveal was the song replaced in that show this year? If you remember which family I'm talking about.
More than likely, songs are replaced. It's just it's a licensing issue. Some
Oh, certainly,
people,
yeah.
like some musicians won't. Some it's ridiculously expensive. Yeah, some it's just impossible to get. Sometimes people have the same song because obviously certain
Hetherington.
songs are popular. So I would never. I don't know specifically because we're not really involved in the post production
Oh
process.
yeah,
So I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, we figured that there's a few songs that we know from Felicia and Brady and others being on the show before that it does happen. Songs get replaced for the live broadcast. Um, what has been your favorite moment on the show? Or not, I don't want to pigeonhole you into a favorite. What are some of your favorite moments on the show? Maybe that didn't air. Is it like one funny was just one family was just freaking funny as all get out, or maybe did one have better food than the other, or
Well, I
what?
don't get to film, so I don't get to
Okay.
see the process. I've managed to go to two places in California, but generally speaking, especially because ever since COVID, numbers have been limited. We're slowly building those crowds back up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but usually it's friends and family, and they're all over the country. So I don't get to film very often. So I don't know that.
Okay.
But I think one of the things that I take most is the beautiful community that comes from this family. And we have Evelyn I think one of my favorite things about the show is Evelyn Quintero, who, if you know her display, it is an
Yeah, I've got
absolute.
her lights right here.
Well, that was what I was going to say. Evelyn
Boom.
sends and shares her props with so many
Oh yeah.
people, and it is such a joy to see this lady share her incredible talent and her incredible passion with so
Mm-hmm.
many people. And just that loving element to this community really just embodies what it is to be part of Light Fight. And whether you're a contestant or
Mm-hmm.
not, she sends it to people who have not been on the show.
Oh yeah.
She's just and she's just become such a big part of this community. And we talked one day and she said, I never imagined that at this time of my life, I would have so many people I didn't know, who are friends, across the country, across the world, know her. And that's just like,
Yeah.
because I remember when we found her, and it was not huge, but it was so unique and special that we knew that within a year or two, it would be like mind blowing. And when she said, "Oh, I'm going to have a mountain on the side of my house," she had a mountain on the side of her house. Like, she did it. And that's the thing. A lot of people are like, well, I'm going to do this if you come. But it's like, we can't, if you promised us the world and we turn up with, hundred thousands of
Oh
dollars worth of crew, we can't take it. So people sometimes can get a little frustrated with but I know I would build it, but it's not a build it and they will come kind of situation. You do have to get to a certain level. And then there is well,
yeah.
next year, if you come and we get on the show, I'll do this. And we have had people, like, we turned up one time and he'd built an entire city. We didn't know that was going to be there because that wasn't there. And it was just like, what? Okay.
So they send you the casting tape, and you know what it's going to look like, and you get there, and it's a surprise. Is that a good surprise or a bad surprise that it's different than what you're preparing?
Oh, if it's bigger, it's always good. If it's not,
Okay.
yeah, if it's not ready, that's a problem. And we've only really had that a couple of times where we've turned up and it's not been ready, because that's a recipe for disaster. And unfortunately,
Right.
you get judged on the night that is your judging night. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Brian's asking, can you tell everyone about your casting, how your casting footage is put together, and who it's pitched to, and who gets to work on it each year?
So you give us the footage, and then we have an editor who puts together your casting reel. I myself, Jamie, and a couple of other people do the interviews during the year. So we'll do a little Zoom interview. We'll make sure it's nice and fun. Always dress up.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing. If it's your one shot, dress up. Have some props. Decorate. Because again,
Yeah.
you're competing for only 15 spots, maybe 18. But,
Yeah.
so Christmas spirit, if you're wearing matching shirts or whatever, that certainly helps. But yeah, we have a casting editor who puts it together, and then, ABC, have a look. And sometimes I was actually talking to someone this morning, one of our potential contestants, and they're just like, they've been really great in taking constructive criticism, because we're not ever going to criticize your display. But if you say,
Yeah.
what do I need to do to get on the show? Be honest. I'll be brutally honest, right? Like, I've had some
Good.
tough conversations with people, but you won't know if, you can't grow if you don't know. Right. So,
Yeah.
anyway, they've taken this, but they have this very long driveway that's very dark. And I was like, listen, I'm not saying spend any money on it. I'm not saying do anything this year, but I do know that when you go to pitch, ABC are going to ask, but what are you going to do with the driveway? Because everything
Mm-hmm.
else is spectacular. But then if you take this big aerial shot and there's this giant
Mm-hmm.
driveway that's dark, And there's easy fixes with that. There's arches, there's spotlights, there's projections.
Yeah.
You can take all the surplus stuff you have. Like say you've got 150 blow molds that you don't, or you rotate. Have a blow mold alley, that you just bring out for the days of filming, because we film in November. So your Christmas people aren't going to be coming through. There's no one to disappoint. Your neighbors will know that you're going to go on the show, because your street's going to be busy for a couple of days with the crew. So, have some kind of solution in your head that you're ready to tell and be like, here's my fix for that. And they're like, all right, great. You're 90% there. We're pretty sure you can do the 10%. And if you don't do the 10% and you've been told to do it, you're silly, because if you don't take the advice that you're given, and you're making it hard to win.
Jordan's got a question. Can we do the show again? Asking for a friend.
Okay, so no, not yet. But we have floated. Obviously we've had some episodes where we do a look at where they are now, kind of thing, and we're constantly talking about doing rematches. And I think for that to happen, enough people who've been on the show would need to be in a new place with a new display for us to pitch enough people. But it's never a no. It is something that we are constantly discussing and talking about. So it's just not this year.
Yeah. I think he just wants to defend his youngest ever title.
Oh, he may have some competition coming up for that, because I can tell you there are some young guns in the mix. Oh, yeah. I
told him if someone his same age or close wins, the light fight might have to start doing a Brian. The librarian might have to start doing 20 years, 192 days, and 16 hours or something. Got to narrow that down.
We did the maths. I was joking with Jordan one day, and I was working out the age of one of our upcoming ones, and he was literally trying to work out, by the time it aired, did it count for him by the time he filmed, or did it count by the time he aired? And no, there's definitely some great young displays. And look, we actually have been working with quite a few people who are 15 and 16 who want to be on the show in future years, and their goal is to grow. And they've contacted us very honestly and like, well, I'm not there yet, but this is my goal. They're in the system. We're like, if you want to, we're not going to say no to someone who says, I am growing, I'm actively growing, and we can see the potential. Yeah.
Well,
that's how we got the Pratt brothers. That's how the Pratt brothers, when we found the Pratt brothers, all they had was that first facade with the clock. They lined their house and they had the fire jets. That's all they had. But we knew that it was unique. And as soon as we spoke to them, they said, oh, next year we're doing this. And we were like, okay. We saw next year. Next year was like, okay. Then we were like, next year we're doing this. And we were like, oh, this is amazing. Let's get you on the show. They went, no, but next year we're going to build a roller coaster. And we were like, okay. So we waited like 4 years for the Pratt brothers to be ready. So, again, don't be disappointed if you in the system and you haven't made the show in the first or even second or even.
Hey, see, what do you go? Rob's asking, have you ever thought about doing a show on Disney Plus with all the stuff that you shoot but we don't see on TV?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a great idea. I mean, Brady, are you listening? ABC, are you listening?
Yeah, I get a lot of people wanting Brady back on to talk about the Fright Fight, which has been on twice total in the history. Ratings are up so far this year, Brian. Same with all 4 episodes. About 2.3 million each.
Nice.
So AJ, if you don't know, what we're doing is we're doing a watch party every Thursday for the Great Christmas Light Fight here, and then every weekend I bring on former champions and we go through each episode and we talk about every family that's on.
I love it.
Let's see here. When you first got the call or whatever to be on the Light Fight, did you understand what the show was, and did you think you were still going to be on 9 seasons later?
So I actually met Kristen through friends, and her friend, we met like at an Emmy function actually, and she was like, "Oh, I do this show," and my friend Andrew was like, "Oh yeah, Kristen, you should get AJ," and I was like, "Oh my god, I love Christmas! Like I am I'm that girl." And so I came on the first year, and I didn't think I would be here 9 years later.
Okay.
Um, but it's such a joy. I love it. It's so much fun. The families are amazing. Seeing people kind of fulfill their dreams, and
Yeah.
also making real impacts. Someone like Jordan, who has raised, I think now over $500,000 for Make a Wish.
Make a
Seeing
wish.
the follow on, the good that can happen from that, and even shows that don't win make a huge impact in their communities. People who are
Oh yeah.
doing food drives and Toys for Tots, and I always say to people, the win is great, the win is wonderful, but getting on the show gives you an amazing opportunity to do some great things in your community, if that's what you're doing. And now you have a year, because you're seeing right now people who have filmed this
Yeah.
year. This week they're allowed to announce that they're 2025 contenders.
Mm-hmm.
That you have a whole year to
Yeah.
use this vessel to promote whatever it is you're doing. So there's
Good
so
call.
much more to being on the show than just winning.
Oh yeah, I mean it's all about. I was telling people we saw the beautiful blow mold tree with the secret passageway in it. I'm like, that right there, everybody's gonna copy that around the world. That is a mind blowing. How has no one ever done that before? Moment.
Yeah, that's what we love. And that's the thing, we do love, you've never seen this before kind of moments. And we're always
Yeah.
looking for new things. We love projection, and I'd love a house with projection, but you can't just have a projection on a house. So
Nope.
you got to do layers. What else can you do? And we love,
Yeah.
like, we've got something, again, one of the smallest houses that we've ever had, the smallest house we've ever had. It's something you've never seen before. Like, you've literally never seen this on Light Fight. And that's what we look
Nice.
for. It's something that isn't the normal. And so
You say you
don't be
are gonna have a
afraid.
projection on?
This
You
does
are gonna
not
have
have
projection.
projection. No.
Okay. Okay.
Nope. No, but the house is an incredible work of art. And that's the great thing,
Nice.
is that the artistry of what people do on this show is now, an even bigger element to it. So, get making stuff.
I hear. I mean, without question, I'd say it's 100% across the board. Every single past contestant brags about their experience, and they brag about the experience. They brag about the casting producers. They brag about the people on set. And no one ever has the only two things I ever hear some people say is the increased traffic they get.
Hmm.
And that's like it's very, I won't say complain. It's very present in this year's episodes that are just being released. Weather, you guys film no matter what. Tanya's out there in pouring rain with umbrellas in a couple episodes.
We have a tight schedule.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have a road trip, basically. So we travel through the country. So you
Mm-hmm.
have, it's just, crew are flying in, and so yeah, it rain, hail, or shine is when it happens. It's just, the show must go on.
So when people send you their videos, you want horizontal form, and I've heard Felicia talk about it before. And is it how do you like to see a video? When you see the video for the first time, you open up that file. Do you want the wow moments in the first 5 to 10 seconds, or do you want them to slowly build it up? Do they need to try to produce that in a way to wow you, or just go out and film it?
Oh, look, we're used to everything. We're very patient.
Okay.
I mean, what you want to do in your submission, if you're just blindly submitting through the portal, then obviously a picture should be like, wow, oh my God, a wide shot of what it is. And then video, yeah, show us everything there is. Like, don't just kind of submit a photo of a one blow mold, because we're like, oh well, we don't know what that is. Like, what is that? So
Yeah.
try to get us to see what it is. You can put links to YouTube and things like that in the submission, and
Okay.
but one of the greatest shots you can get is drone, and everyone has a
Yeah.
drone. Like, don't spend a lot of money, ask your neighbors, somebody's got one. And
Yeah.
because that drone from the wide shot is great, and then coming down and cruising around the display, you've got it. You can see it. That's it. It's like, and then you'll walk around and do your smaller close-up shots of your DIY pieces, so we can see that there is a lot of work that has been in here, and you have enough talking points to fill almost 20 minutes.
Speaking of alternates, Giatano is a current alternate. He made it finally into today's episode. Um, so yeah, drones. Yeah, you're right. Kind of everybody's got them. I have a DJI drone myself, and I use for filming. But yeah, that kind of gives you don't nobody's gonna have a lift truck or a crane to get up there or a neighbor's tall enough roof to get up there. So yeah, drone footage is gonna give you a nice aerial footage. And you guys use I don't know if it's drone footage or crane footage. What do you guys use
It's
in
called
your
a
videos?
jib.
But use
It's
them
called a
yourself.
jib,
Yeah,
and
right.
it's kind of goes like this. It's very
Yeah.
expensive piece of equipment. Very expensive.
Let's see here. Devin says bringing back the heavyweights. He was close to getting on the show last year, but there were no episodes planned for a heavyweight, and his small display is a public one had to get denied. So if it's a public
We're accepting
display,
submissions for heavyweights. We 100% are.
okay, okay.
Absolutely. Reach out to us
So
for sure.
and that's been a question over the last few lives is to submit their application, do they have to have it on residential property with their own house decorated?
Yes, you
Okay.
have to be on residential property. If you decorate your neighbours, that won't be considered. Generally, we ask if you're decorating the neighbours just to bring all of it over onto yours for 1 year, so you can get the footage. But yeah,
Okay.
you don't have to own the property. You can rent the property. We have lots of
Oh,
renters.
okay.
Yeah. You just have to be on residential property.
Do you accept if it's a drive-through display on their own property with their own house decorated?
Hmm.
You do. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Uh,
And even if
do you
you
like
charge, if it's still on your residential property, then it's residential.
cool. There you
Yeah.
go. Kurt he's from Florida. Do you like behind the scenes videos?
Well, yeah. So the behind the scenes, we don't want to clog up the box too much, but any of you making something or talking about something really specific. So if you're into blow molds and you rescue them from the sides of road, which is like currently a thing on TikTok right now, it's
Yeah.
trending. And if you're taking them and go, look, I found this. Oh, this is me dumpster diving. Look at all these. I'm going to transform them. And then you're showing painting them and pulling out the old lights and putting in the new lights. Anything that's kind of unique like that. Again, horizontal footage. But yeah, that kind of behind the scenes, yes.
Mm-hmm. I brag all the time, probably too much if you ask some people that I put on an annual contest. We're sponsored this year by J.R. Matos, a former contestant, and Luxita, who's the projection mapping people. Um, but 10 of my past contestants have gone on either been cast on or as alternates on the Great Christmas Light Fight. So where do you find people who don't apply? You have to go out there, you have to search and find them. Where's a good avenue for you to find light shows?
We definitely go through your videos. I'm not
Fair
gonna
enough.
lie. I
So where else do
scour
you
your
find?
videos. And then I think
Yes,
I message you and say, hey, can you
yeah,
get in touch with these people?
yeah. I think last year there's five or I think it was last year was six that I gave
Yeah.
you. So and
Yeah. So look, there is
and
a lot of
Kurt,
ways
you're one
for
of
us.
them.
We are
Kurt
you.
was one of them.
So there's a lot of ways to be found, obviously applying, but we do massive searching. Like
Yeah.
probably 75% of the people who end up on the show are because we have found them online. So having a presence, having a Facebook page, having an Instagram page, having a TikTok page, having a YouTube, and then hashtags, DIY Christmas, Great Christmas
Oh,
Light
okay.
Fight
Yeah.
casting.
Okay.
If you have that in there, we'll find you.
Nice.
And then we also post in a lot of the pages. We're in the Griswold Christmas, we're in X Lights, we're kind of everywhere in those groups. So we
Hmm.
literally, there's a group that posts the spotlight of the week. We get in that and we look at every single
Okay.
person who comments, and we reach out to people. And again, I might reach out to you when you might only have a few handmade props, but if you are doing really unique handmade props, or you've got these beautiful little houses with the animatronics and you've only got two or three, then I'm going to reach out to you. Fun fact, Ben Sumner, I found
Hmm.
Ben Sumner, all he had was his window display. He did not
Okay.
have a single light outside of his house. But
Huh.
I saw that animatronic display and I picked up the phone and I went, I want you to be on Great Christmas Light Fight. He goes, but I
Nice.
don't have any lights. I said, I know. So what do you think? And he spent the next year and he created the most beautiful display. Now, he doesn't have a million lights.
Hmm.
Does not. It's very simple. It's very simple, clean lines. But, he has that incredible display. He has his mum making the little costumes, and it's like, and he
Mhm.
rescues these beautiful pieces, often one of a kind from department stores. That's what I mean. So if I reach out to you and you go, oh, I'm not big enough, I'm not saying you're big enough for the show now. I'm saying you're talented enough.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay, good
scouting
call.
you. I'm scouting you for the big league.
So some competition show, because this isn't a TART competition show, some competition show, when you do the Zoom interview, they're going to ask you the question of how competitive are you? How competitive, I'm assuming, I don't know, I'm assuming you asked that question. If you ask that question, how competitive do the contestants need to be?
Funnily enough, we don't necessarily ask that question because
Okay.
even though it is a competition,
Yeah.
we kind of don't see it like that, right?
Fair enough.
We see it as a beautiful collection of incredible displays that one person just happens to win. Some
Fair.
people are extremely competitive, and it will come out in the interview because they're like, I am coming for that trophy.
Yeah.
And some people won't even go on the show. We have this one person, you all know them. In fact, there's a couple. She knows who I'm talking about. He knows who I'm talking about. There's a couple of people who are very big in the community. They're not going on because they only want to go on when they now there's no sureties, right? There's no assurance that you're going to
Mhm.
win, but they
Yeah.
don't want to go on till they think they are an absolute shoe in to win. And I respect that. It's like,
Hmm.
I'm greedy. I want all these great displays on if they're good enough for the show. But if
Yeah.
your goal, then I'll respect that. I'll call you every year until you tell me to not call you. I'll call you.
Yeah.
Because look, Deacon Dave is a classic example of that. Deacon Dave, we have been trying to
Mhm.
get Deacon Dave on the show since season 1. And then
Wow.
we stopped calling him. And then we were like, let's just call him again. Let's just see, you know?
Right.
And he was like, okay. We were like, what?
My favorite My favorite part of his display was the simple. I mean, had a lot of stuff going on, but it was the simple sign that said 78 couples married here. I'm like,
Yes.
awesome. That
See,
was
that's
so
a simple
cool.
thing. So that's a really cute talking point, right? So that's kind of what I mean is it doesn't have to be
Yeah,
spectacular. It's not a million lights, but it is a really unique talking point that the judge
yeah.
can stop there and go, "Oh, that's so cute. That's really sweet."
And then the librarian has a question for you. Do you know what state the Buchanan and Clink scale families are from? For this Thursday's finale, I can't find them where they're located. He's trying to update his journal.
She's Clink Scale is San Diego. And what was
And
the other family?
Buchanan.
I'll have to look that up.
Oh,
But
well,
he
we'll
can
find
text
out
me.
Thursday too. But
You can text me. Well, you've got
yeah,
my number.
yeah. Yeah, quit bothering us, Brian. You have her
Yeah,
number. Just
Brian.
call her. Call her later though. She's busy right now.
I was actually
She's
going to call
busy right.
Brian. I wanted so while I've got you all here, I actually just
Yes.
sent a bunch of emails to and posted on my Facebook a request to our Light Fight alumni. Um, if you want to make a little Christmas video with or without the trophy,
Oh.
because not everyone has one, I
Uh-huh.
would love to share it on our TikTok and our Instagram. So most of you have my number. If you don't, you're on my Facebook and I can give you my number. But just text me a really short, hi, happy Christmas from the blah blah family. Look at our trophy.
Nice.
We didn't need the trophy. We had a great time. Merry Christmas. And we'll post it on our socials.
Oh, very cool. I tried calling you. See, Mike says I tried calling you, but you're always on your phone with Jordan.
That's true. Text me first. I always say text me first. If you knew, I am currently handling about 250 families. Um,
For the
so,
light fight?
huh?
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so,
How?
I am on my
Go ahead.
phone a lot.
So if you're handling 250, how much is Kristen and everybody else handling?
Yeah,
Or
no,
do you have
we
a?
we have like probably 500 families in our grid. Well, we probably have
Wow.
a lot more. We do have a lot
Okay.
more. But, actively people who are, you know, at various levels. Some
Yeah.
might be 3 or 4 years away, some might be 2 years away. Some
Mm-hmm.
people we're just waiting for them to say yes. So, there's a lot of people there that are it's a big melting pot of people at different stages.
Right. Um. Oh yeah, people are gonna grow. Well, like Daniel Allison, he came on the light fight with 250,000. This year he's up to 1 million, and and rocking it out.
Well, and that's another thing. We often try to encourage people because they really want to go and they really want to go and do now and whatnot. But like,
mhm.
it's okay to wait and grow too. You
Yeah,
know, touch wood, we're not going anywhere.
yeah, yeah.
I did touch wood
There you
then,
go.
by the way. I did. I
Yeah,
did.
yeah, nice.
I'm touching it. I'm reaching forward and touching my table.
If you could go back in time, AJ, and say, "Hey, season one, AJ, if season nine, AJ could talk to season one, AJ, and give her a piece of advice about the light fight, what would that piece of advice be?"
Keep on people, even when you think that
Okay.
they're ghosting you.
Okay. All right.
um, you know, because look, I can be a bit stalkerish. I do apologize. I I do repetitively contact you a lot, many times. And if you don't answer, that's okay. If you don't tell me to stop calling you, I'm going to keep calling you. Like I literally in my messages last week, I think I rang like 70 people in one day and I was like, hey, listen, if you're not doing it anymore, that's okay. Just tell me. But if you don't tell me, I'll see you next year. Bye. Love you.
Yeah, it's not stalking until they tell you to stop,
Oh,
and
but yeah.
more of
Right.
the ghost of Christmas present or
Yeah.
Christmas future.
But, you know, speaking of stalking, this is a kind of fun, silly fact. When I'm casting
Oh,
people, I might find a 15-second video on TikTok and it might not be the owners, it's somebody who's just driven past. I'm going to get on
yeah.
that TikTok and I'm going to look for a street sign or I'm going to look
Mm.
for a number on the house and then I'm going to ask the comments for where. And then when I finally work out where it is and if I can find out the street, I'm going to get on Google Street View and I'm
Oh,
going to walk
nice.
along the street. I literally did this the other day and I did it for a contestant coming up next year. Walk along the street until I find the piece of house that I recognize. Then I go look you up in white pages. Then I start stalking your socials.
Nice. I like it.
I
I
might call you
like it.
work.
See, Brandon's saying that his kids miss you. They want to do another Zoom with you.
Aww. I miss all my families.
Yeah.
You can always stay in touch though. A lot do. You know, just because you've been on the show doesn't mean that you're out of my life.
So great segue. So you meet all these families with all these amazing displays. Have you taken anything from that you've seen on the show yourself and integrated that into your own home decoration?
Well, I live in an apartment in
Ah,
LA, so
okay.
sadly I don't get to do that. Which I swear, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell anyone, but you
All
would
right.
know because my Christmas display would go overnight from zero to hero. I would
So
go crazy. But I do have some Evelyn flowers,
there you go. So yeah, you could decorate your balcony or whatever.
and I have an
So
Evelyn snowman. Hold on, wait. I can show you.
okay, yes. Evelyn's got got the flowers, snowman. The problem is I keep watering my flowers every day. Oh, nice,
Isn't that
nice,
cute?
very cool. I recognize the green there.
I need a new battery. Doesn't light up.
Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. So you mentioned winning the lottery. Fun fact about me: in high school, the gal I was dating, while I was dating her, her parents won the lottery.
Oh, wow.
Fun
Gee, I
fact.
bet you wish you'd stayed with her.
No, no, great gal. That's how she paid for law school. She's a great gal. But yeah, so it does happen.
It does
So
happen.
it does happen from time to time.
Oh, I got my
Where can folks
tickets.
where can folks find you on social media?
So I'm very easy to find. You can literally Google my name, AJ Rochester, and I'll be everywhere. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, TikTok. It's AJ Rochester everywhere. Again, Light Fight Casting. If you go to the portal, you can even put my name in. If you've spoken to someone, you can put my name in there, and then you become my person, and I'll chase you.
Yeah.
So you know, I'll get back to you. So I'm very easy to find. I'm very accessible.
And Jordan wants to make sure you find him at Transworld. He was talking about you guys are gonna. He offered you a booth or
We're
table.
coming to Transworld. We found out today.
Oh,
And
you
then, yes, we're coming to Transworld. We are hoping to have both yes, we will be with Jordan at his stall. So that's really cool. We will be having a workshop and we hope to have a stage talk as well. So I just was speaking with Shane this morning about it and we're putting all the things in place. So the workshops are great because we'll have like an actual presentation, and we'll kind of get into the nitty gritty of, things like, we'll use shows, displays that have got on the show and talk about their before and after. So, I kind of want to show like what they were like when we found them and what they were like on the show, and be able to kind of show you the elements that they integrated into their display that took it from that, like the, being able to put net lights on your ground or create a river or do snow, like those little things, fine lines. People think covering the house is like just throwing a bunch of lights, but lining the house and making it neat, or doing different colors or different features, or there's a lot of different elements that you can do that can take it from that kind of starter to like, we call it like take it from a grower to a shower.
So I gotta ask. This is out of context, but I want to know what this is about. Kurt's saying AJ is everywhere. I love your interpretation of the Australian breakdancer.
Ray gun.
Did you do? Yes. Breakdancing by AJ live on the show. Let's go. Are you going to go to the new East Coast Trans World this year? Do you know anything about if you're going to go to that new?
I don't even know about that. So,
Trans World is going to the East Coast Haunters in Philadelphia. Have a huge show over there, and this year they're going to branch off. I think it's in April this year, but Trans World is going to do 2 Christmas shows this year.
I do have now. I don't know whether I'm allowed to announce it, so I'll have to be careful about what I say. But we do have a very special guest going to Florida Mini Mega. I'm not going to say who it is because I don't know whether they're announcing it yet. But I do know that it is official as of today that a very special guest will be at the Florida Mega Mini.
Very cool. That's awesome. So so we went to a bunch of us that are in the chat. We were all at the expo this year in Kansas City, and love that the expo announced earlier that they're going to be in Texas this year. Normally they don't announce till April, but this year they're way ahead of time. So that's pretty cool.
People need to plan.
Yes. So before I forget to ask you, I always forget to ask this till it's too late. What should folks not do? They're going to submit you a tape. Is there anything to stay away from? Don't do this. As an example, Brian Michaels very famously tells the story of his Ring camera footage and capturing a minion which is a copyright issue, when he gets his trophy. So is there other things like that?
Yes. So I was literally going to say Minions. Minions, Grinch. There's a bunch of things that we can't do. And so if you have 1,000 Grinches, then we simply can't get the license. We are Disney, and any opposition to Disney is not ever going to give us the license to feature their things on the show. We do have a list. I think we are going to publish that list on Light Fight Casting, but you can reach out to me and I can actually send you the list, because we just got a brand new list of what we can and can't do. And then also, though, because we are Disney, you have to make sure that, like, say you've got Mickey has to kind of look Mickey. He can't look all busted up and kind of scary. Homemade Mickey. Like Mikey. Can't be Mikey Mouse.
Yeah, like Steamboat Willie rises again.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's probably about it. Do you have any questions for anybody in the chat today?
Do you have a great display? And can you call me?
Yes, call AJ.
Listen, it's just such a joy to just have all of you. And I just, it isn't all about the prize. I really kind of want to reiterate that. We love to tell your stories.
Yeah.
And you kind of touched on it briefly. We like people to go away having had an incredibly unique experience. Mm-hmm. Having a film crew come to your family, especially with kids. We love kids. Feature your kids. We, send us videos with your kids. If your kids are making stuff, that's awesome. We want to celebrate that. And we really aim for your experience to be the most incredible thing you have ever had in your life. 3 days being treated like celebrities, having your special director's chairs, and the kids filming their segments, and to have this beautiful time capsule that you will keep forever. And sharing that with the world is like, we do not take that lightly. And that is our goal. From the minute you join our family, and become part of it. We want you to have the most incredible experience in your life. And that's, I think, what we're offering more than a chance to win a check and a trophy. Not saying a check and trophy is great, but it's so much more than that.
Nobody ever talks about the check. Not everybody talks about the trophy.
Yeah.
And nobody ever talks about the check. The check is a cool bonus, I think.
I love the photo. I love the photos that go on at all the expos of like the winners and the losers, and how how it's not mean and nasty. It's very it's a fun in joke, and I love it.
So this year on our contest, J.R. Matos, he's created his fourth. We do a prize for static, computerized, and then another display. But he's doing his own award this year, and he's got his own trophy. And the running joke in last week's live was that Jordan can't submit his video in because there's no way JR would pick it. It was funny.
Funny.
He always forgets about the check. Yeah, everyone always forgets about the check. It's fun. So
it's not about that. It's so much more.
And one thing I get a lot is there's pros and minuses to social media and where we're at in our society. But at our society, one thing that is true, it's a great Christmas light fight is providing professional footage that the family's great grandkids go back and see what grandma and grandpa sounded like, looked like, what they did for a hobby. And lock that time. I love that you said time capsule. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's so unique, and to be part of a community that it really is small. 15 or 18 people a year to, compared to the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. We have thousands of people over time that have applied. It's like, so it really is the Olympics of Christmas. And I think that is the thing. It's not just about the lights, especially as we evolve. And, I think it's a beautiful thing that there are going to be displays that haven't had an opportunity because they're not heavily loaded with lights. Yes, you still have to have that big first moment, right? There is still that. But it's about so much more than that. And I'm so excited for people to see next year's, because I think there's going to be a lot of people who have previously gone, oh, I'm not good enough, be like, oh wow, maybe I am good enough. And then like I say, with the magic of Hollywood, everything looks bigger on TV. We do all our little things that you go from being really one of the best displays in your area to being one of the best displays around the world.
Yes. And then Kim's saying hi to you. What's up, Kim? Kim, see, and Giatano saying if we cared about the check, we wouldn't spend $100,000 on lights just to get a 50,000.
Right.
That's true.
But that's also why we don't encourage people. We never say to people, go and spend $50,000, because it's just as likely somebody collecting things out of the trash and restoring them might win, and they're not spending a cent other than for a bulb or things like that. So we never. It's not about spending the most amount of money either.
Yeah. See, do we need a written agreement with guests if we video them for the Box app, or is it just for you to see?
No, it's just for us to see. We will never broadcast anything that we don't have permission for. So yeah.
Okay.
And we were actually just talking about this in our meeting this morning with Kristen. The best footage that you can get in for us, a lot of people think that they have to wait for all the crowds. We actually prefer the opposite. So the less people, so we can actually see your lights and your display and your props. And the best time to film that is just as the sun goes down. Not while the sun's still up. I'm talking the moment of sunset when there's still that kind of glow, but it's nighttime. And then chances are there's not going to be a lot of people at your display right then. That's the best time to take it, because it's dark, but it's not pitch black. And that way we can see the props and things like that a little better.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. Well, we're going to need to get you back on again, because we didn't talk about the switches. We didn't talk about the reveal moments. We didn't talk about most of the stuff. But I appreciate you coming on.
I'll come on anytime. I'll come to the watch party too.
Boom. Okay. We'll talk about that here in a second then. But hey, that's about it for me. Can you tell folks again where they can find you on social media, please?
So you can find me AJAY Rochester, AJ Rochester. Just Google my name, AJ Rochester. Do Australian AJ Rochester. You'll learn a lot about me.
Break dancer.
But just find me anywhere on social media. I'm Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on YouTube, but not really, but kind of,
Yeah.
You message me, I might find it. But also ask in the community. You're going to find me. I'm in all of the pages. A lot of people drop my name. Thank you for the continuing support. Brian, Tony Bigda, people who continue to kind of carry the torch for Light Fight after they've been on the show. And, because we post in forums and people go, this is a scam. And then, Jordan will get in there and go, no, it's really not, because I actually won the show. And, we really do appreciate the time and effort and energy that our alumni give to giving this opportunity to other ones. The amount of times that the alumni have sent me people and gone, I think my neighbor really has what it takes. I'm going to take that and run with that, because, we know that you know what it takes to get on the show.
Yep. Agreed. Well, hey, thanks so much for coming on. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to talk to you off camera here 1 second. But, folks, send me in your video of your display, Christmas on Crestline at gmail.com. Send me your video and win a small Sasquatch. Win a mega tree, folks. We're giving away tons of prizes this year and $750 in cash with a cool new trophy this year. But yeah, that's it for me today. Thank you, AJ, for coming on the show. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Bye, guys.